What's going on? So, why do I keep my 9 to 5 and not just quit? And I have a couple of reasons. Now, I do have a side hustle that does bring in over six figures.
Would I ever consider quitting my full time job just to be a reseller or to be an entrepreneur? I've owned a lot of my businesses for a lot of years, and short answer to that is probably not. I probably would never quit my 9 to 5 job.
With everything said and done with all my side income, I think I bring in about $150,000 for one of my companies that goes into my pocket. Now, that doesn't include taxes or anything like that, but I do have a six figure income on the side. And with that being said, why do I keep my 9 to 5? And I have four reasons why I keep my 9 to 5. Now, I could quit today and be financially fine, but there's a lot of issues with that. And having a side income that's six figures is one of the best thing I ever done, and I keep maintaining it. Now, let's go over the reason why I keep my full-time job. Number one is I generally enjoy my full-time job. And you may think, oh, 9 to 5 sucks, but not all 9 to 5 jobs suck.
In a perfect world, when it came to choosing an occupation, we would have only two priorities in mind. Firstly, to find a job that we enjoyed. And secondly, to find a job that paid us enough to cover reasonable material needs.
The issue is you don't like your 9 to 5 does not mean other people don't like their 9 to 5. You have to find a job that you enjoy. That's what's the point of finding a career. Now, a lot of people says I hate their 9 to 5, and then you ask them what is their 9 to 5, they tell me like warehouse worker. They tell me they have very low end jobs that doesn't require a degree or anything like that. So it makes it understandable. Yes, a lot of my friends hate their jobs. They hate their 9 to 5. They don't enjoy it. And they say, I want to quit. I want to quit. And look at all these videos of people saying, I won't work a 9 to 5. I'd rather die. And when you ask them what their 9 to 5 jobs are, it's something as they don't enjoy doing. So that's my number one reason why I keep my 9 to 5. I enjoy my job and it pays very well. So, what are some of the other reasons why I keep a 9 to 5? Number two, I enjoy being financially bulletproof. Just having that two stream of income right there. And not including.
So let's talk about bulletproofing your financial life, because that's what people need to know is how do you cover your risk on the front end. I thought this was surprising, Bo. Only
all my other stream of income, just having two stream of income. It gives me the ability to be bulletproof because now I have a side job or a side hustle that I can maintain within my 9 to 5 hours. So 9 to 5, I focus on just my 9 to 5, but I get off early enough that I can handle phone calls or anything I need to do on the side. So I have a work life balance. So I have two jobs that I maintain. And the thing about my side hustle, I only spend about 1 to 2 hours a day doing it, and it brings me in six figures a year. Now, one of them is selling on eBay, and another one is consulting. So I consult for these companies that needs me to look at their businesses, where they can cut corners or cut down their budgets, or just some real estate deals that they want to look at. So I do have a consulting company that I bring in roughly about $150,000 a year. But the issue about it is not consistently. Some months I'll bring 20, 30, some months I'll bring 0 because I don't actively advertise it. So that's one thing. Now comment down below if you want me to actually start showing more about those. But at the end of the day, I do consult for big businesses. Some of these businesses make millions. Some of these makes like 20, 30 million. And some of them are just other social media influencers that just don't know how to handle their finances, and I charge them a consultant fee on how to handle their money and best improve it and get them to the right legal places because not everyone knows what to do, and I'm just the beginning of their journey. So, with that saying, me being bulletproof, having a six-figure job, having a six-figure side income, it makes me phenomenal better off and allows me to invest and grow my wealth better. That is why I am planning to pay off all my investment property instead of just trying to deal with all that stuff. Now, number two, number three, it is secure your health benefits. Did you know that yes, I can write off my health benefit for my family and put it under my business, but that's very expensive. Now, if you don't know how much it costs, I'm gonna tell you right now. For me and my family, I was paying about $1,300 to $1,500 a month for health benefits. Yes, it's a business write-off. Yes, I can save money that way. But at the end of the day, is it better for me to pay $400 a month for my family insurance or $1,500? That right there saves me $1,100 a month. Put all that benefit under my company. Now, it doesn't make sense to me. Yes, you can write it off. Yes, you can get all these benefits, and there's other things. But at the end of the day, that $1,500 a month was the cheapest insurance, and you don't get the best health care with that cheaper insurance. And this is due to a family plan. Now, if it was individual, probably like $500 to $1,000 a month. But for family, it's very expensive to have health insurance. And the cheapest way is to go to an employer because they cover 70, 80% of the expense of the health benefits. And the other thing is on that is you get a lot of employee benefits that when you work for a bigger corporation because they either have partnerships or anything on that line. So you can get cheaper cell phone plan, you can get cheaper health insurance, you can get cheaper gym memberships, cell phone plans, all these benefits. And don't forget the 401k plan when they give you 6%, 10%, 4% on match. That is free money that I get to invest, and it helps save for retirement for a long run. So I don't want to give that benefit up. Yes, I can use my own plan, but who's gonna match my 4, 5, 6, 10%, counting on what company you're at, benefits? I can match my own benefit, but then that's money that's coming out of my pocket to save in taxes. And at the end of the day, I did the math. It really doesn't save me much money. It's better if I work for an employer and have them do all the benefits for me and keep that money for myself and just pay a little extra on taxes. It just makes more sense because I did the math. It doesn't save me money because it's a tax deduction, and at the end of the day, a tax deduction only lower my taxable income, and $30,000 just to save $5,000 doesn't make sense to me. It's just one of those things you have to do the math, got to figure out, and this is where a tax strategist and a will help in, so you figure out where's the best tax saving for yourself. And lastly, number 4, and this is what people need to understand. It is extremely hard to get loan and financing if you only have a business because they scrutinize it. You pay higher interest rates, you pay higher on everything. So it makes no sense. If I want to grow my real estate business and want to go back into borrowing money, it's best to have a income from a 9 to 5 because it looks better. At the end of the day, it's more secure. I don't have to give them 5-year tax statements for my businesses and then they scrutinize all of it. At the end of the day, it's harder to get a loan. I pay premium dollars for those loans. And if I want to save money and look at the long run, it's best I keep my 9 to 5 if I want to grow my real estate. Now, I don't plan on borrowing any more money, but that's at this time. interest rate drops back down to 2 or 3%, now that's a different story. Right now, interest rates like 6, 7%. It doesn't make sense to borrow money at this rate. But if the interest rate dropped dramatically, maybe 1%, it makes no sense for me not to borrow money to capitalize on it, because that's pretty much giving away free money at a low percentage. And this is why I'm keeping my job. So those are the 4 reasons why I'm keeping my job. Now, like and subscribe, comment down below. Why do you hate your job? Why you should quit? And hey, at the end of the day, I like my job. So it doesn't make sense for me to quit just because other people hate their jobs.